Good morning. Welcome to our regularly scheduled meeting of our Audit Committee. Today is October 21st, and I'm joined here by my colleagues, Council Members Schrader, and Warsami. We are not yet a quorum. We are waiting for Mr. Fisher, who's going to help us get quorum today. But I did not want to delay because I know that we have, and we are joined by Mr. Fisher with umbrella in hand on a rainy morning. Welcome. We are now a quorum of our committee, so I will shift and just do our normal order of business here today. First, I'll move that we adopt the agenda in front of you and that we also accept the meeting minutes of our previous meeting, which was on September 11th. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That carries. Just for those that might be watching or watching at some future point in time, we typically get our audit committee meeting materials Thursday or Friday of the week before, and we have time to look at them and review them so that we can get right into our business first thing. The first thing that we have on our agenda today is the state auditor review and management and compliance reports, but we have a special guest today. We have Auditor Blaha, and I just wanted to give the floor to her and invite her to say a few words. This is, after that, we'll have Ms. Erickson give us the 3 state audit reports, both for the Park Board and for ourselves. But first we'll hear from Auditor Blaha. Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Chair and members of the City Council. This is really exciting for me. It's the first time I've had a chance to address anything in this room, in this building. This is tremendous. As you know, I was elected this year, so I've got 10 months under my belt. So naturally, we've got pretty much everything, locked down. I was lucky to walk into a group that was very functional and a really very professional crowd. I'm excited to come before you today, before your audit, because I do want to compliment you all on the work that you're doing long term, not only on your financial audit, but also your internal audit process. Had a chance to meet with members of your team and hear about the work you're doing, and I just want to ask you to continue that work. I think that everything you're doing, both internally and then externally, will definitely pay big benefits for you. Again, we also appreciate how easy it is to work with your staff. How easy it is to get information from your staff, and that's a testament to the good day-to-day work that you're doing. And we've had a chance to speak, and we'll keep talking about some opportunities for what can we do now in between audits. We don't want, we have so much fun together, we don't want to let that end. So the idea of where can we work together next to take what we learned from your audit and then turn that into better practices, maybe better public policy, whatever we're seeing from these results. So with that, I just wanted to make sure I had a chance to say hello to you all. Thank you for the work you're doing, and also that I'm excited for the work we're going to do together next. With that, I think it'd be good to go to the person who's got all the details, the part you've been waiting for. When you're ready, I will let you turn that over to Ms. Erickson.
Thank you. Are there any thoughts or comments to our state auditor this morning? I don't see any.
I know this is one of your best days of the year, right? It's audit day. This is exciting. So enjoy your day. Thank you.
Thank you. I will welcome up Ms. Erickson. The item before you is the State Auditor Management and Compliance Reports. We have the cities, the park boards, and the MBCs. Audit and compliance reports. And the path that this takes now that it is finished is that it comes through us and then it goes to, I believe, Ways and Means Committee, then into council. But we have the state auditor's staff here to give us a short presentation about it. So welcome, Ms. Erickson.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair Palmisano and members of the Audit Committee. My name is Stephanie Erickson, and I'm with the State Auditor's Office, and I'm here to present the results of our audits for the City of Minneapolis, the Minneapolis Park and Recreation Board, and the Municipal Building Commission. But first, I want to thank the City of Minneapolis Finance Management and Finance Management staff for their cooperation and assistance during our audit. We do take up a considerable amount of time during our audit where we ask questions and ask for detailed information. And amongst their daily duties, they do manage to find time to prepare questions for us or answers for us and provide information to us. So we want to thank them for their cooperation. We audited the City of Minneapolis, the Municipal Building Commission, and the Minneapolis Park and Recreation Board for the year ended December 31st, 2018. We issued our opinion on the city's and the Park Board's financial statements and issued our management and compliance reports for all three entities, the city, the MBC, and the Park Board. And you should have received electronic copies of our management and compliance report. They are also included on our website. We performed our audits in accordance with auditing standards generally accepted in the United States of America and government auditing standards. And for the City of Minneapolis, we also applied the uniform guidance, which relates to federal programs. Our opinions on the financial statements for both the city and the Park Board were dated June 24th, 2019, and are included in the respective entities' annual financial reports. Our opinions for both the city and the Park Board were unmodified, which means it's a clean opinion and the best opinion that can be issued. This means that the financial statements were fairly presented and conform with applicable accounting standards. We also audited the city's federal awards and have issued our opinion on compliance for the federal programs that we audited. Our opinion for each of the major federal programs that we audited was unmodified, and this means that the city has complied in all material respects with the compliance requirements that were direct and material to those specific programs. Again, this year, the Park Board's federal expenditures did not rise to the threshold that required a single audit or an audit of the federal programs, so we didn't audit any federal programs for the Park Board, and their federal expenditures are included on the city's schedule of expenditures of federal awards. Throughout our audit, any findings related to internal control, compliance, Minnesota legal compliance, and federal program internal control or compliance were discussed with respective management and staff. And at the end of our audits, we discussed our written findings, those that were included in our report, in detail with each respective entity and their respective management and/or governance. Our management and compliance reports for the city and the Park Board include a corrective action plan and a summary schedule of prior audit findings, both of which are provided by the respective management groups. MBC's report only included a corrective action plan as they had no prior year findings that we needed to follow up on. The corrective action plan is management's plan for resolving the current year findings that were reported and is provided to us just before our report is issued. We do not audit the corrective action plan, but we're required to follow up on those findings during our next audit. The summary schedule of prior audit findings that's included in our report lists the findings that were reported in our prior year report and then provides a status of each finding, whether it's fully corrected, partially corrected, or not corrected. In our 2018 management and compliance report for the city, we reported 3 findings. 2 of those findings related to the same issue. However, because of the federal programs that they related to, they were reported in 2 separate sections. One of the findings that was reported was for major programs that we audited this year, and it was reported again in another section for programs that we didn't audit this year, but we're following up on that finding from the previous year. And then we had one finding from the prior year that we also reported on. This year we were able to again resolve 3 findings from the prior year audit. And one important item to note is that none of the findings for the city were classified as material weaknesses. They were reported as just significant deficiencies. Our schedule of findings and questions costs include the following about each finding. It provides the criteria, which is the standard or the basis for which we measure against, the condition, so what the issue is, the context, which provides some additional information and relates more to perspective, the effect, and what the condition that we found, what it has led to or could lead to, the cause, so why this finding exists, and we always review that with management, and then our recommendation, how we suggest to improve the issue. The 2 new findings we reported this year relate to procurement, suspension, and debarment, and vendor verification. The finding repeated from the prior year's audit relates to monitoring of internal controls. And the city has made progress on this monitoring of internal control finding, as is noted in the report. The city provided its corrective action plan for the findings reported, and as I mentioned, we'll follow up on that in the next audit. I presented the results of our Park Board's audit to the Park Board on October 2nd, 2019, and our management and compliance report for the Park Board included 3 findings, 1 new finding and 2 repeated from the prior year. We reported an audit adjustment finding, a finding on financial condition, and then a finding on their disaster grant for public assistance. Our management and compliance report for the Municipal Building Commission included 1 new finding this year, and that was for an audit adjustment. Any questions?
Are there any questions from my colleagues? Mr. Fisher?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Erickson, you reported on some of the findings that you made in the report, particularly on Park and Recreation Board. But could you confirm, as you've written in the report, that management is effectively addressing the issues you raised?
Yes, they also provide a corrective action plan, and we'll look over that when we get to the next year's finding. But we do read through that corrective action plan before we publish it in our report, and we feel that their plan will show some progress within the next year.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
There aren't any others?
Great. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. With that, we will move to receive and file all 3 of these state auditor reports. I do want to announce that in concurrence with the Ways and Means Chair here, I think that these audit reports will then just go to full council. We don't see a need to then pass them through another committee of council. That chair of that committee is here beside me. So all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That carries. Next, we'll turn to Director Bigby. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair Palmisano, Audit Committee members. I'm joined today with staff auditors Travis Com and Kamlan Alade, and then also our Baker Tilly audit consultants Sam Botterman and Mallory Thomas. Oh, and then most importantly, from management, we have Lori Johnson, Deputy CFO, and Lyle Hodges, our controller. Okay, I'm presenting the citywide gift card audit, which was led by Carla Hirsch, Baker Tilly audit consultant, and supported by our city internal audit team. The background for the gift card audit, we have some decentralized gift card audit processes within the city, so each department is responsible for their own handling of gift cards. The one centralized process is the approval that must be requested from the city's controller within the finance department to purchase gift cards. So the finance department, that is their limited visibility into any gift card activity that happens throughout the city. City gift cards are supposed to be purchased either through the AP system, which is approved by the controller. Lower dollar amounts can be purchased through P-card with the controller's approval. Gift cards might also be received from another entity. For example, the health department, school-based clinics receive a large number of gift cards from Hennepin County. So instead of Hennepin County passing through cash, they actually purchase the gift cards and send the gift cards over. The finance department is not always aware of this type of activity, so it's up to the departments to keep the finance department aware of all of their gift card activity. The departments that handle gift cards are responsible for segregation of duties. So the person who purchases gift cards, distributes gift cards, and manages the safe storage of the gift cards should not be doing all of those activities. Those key duties should be segregated. Also, receipts are required to be obtained. What a receipt is a signed form that when you gave a gift card out for your particular program, that the recipient of that gift card signed the receipt saying that they did receive the gift card. I thought I would also mention a couple of examples of programs that use gift cards. So one example is in the health department, the Lead and Healthy Homes group. There was a Northern Metals settlement which asked gift cards to be purchased and distributed. Those cards are used, here it is, for workshop facilitation, attending events, and making corrections in their homes. The perinatal Healthy Start Boot Camp used gift cards for a workshop facilitator, which it was allowed in their grant. School-based clinics use gift cards to incentivize students to attend health-based clinics and events. And there are a few other examples. Healthy Living, CPED Peace Program for students, and I believe, the park board also uses gift cards in a small amount for recreation. There was a medallia winner, there was a family fun volunteer recognition, there was a card tournament. Athletics and Aquatics uses gift cards for awards presentations and youth athletic programs. Public Works used gift cards for public survey completion to incentivize completion of surveys. And the Race and Equity Division in the City Coordinator's Office uses gift cards to incentivize community participation in activities. The scope and approach for our audit. Our audit period was January 1st, 2018 through August 31st, 2019. The process to identify which departments handle gift cards included a survey to management of all city departments, functions, and boards that were listed in our directory. Also reviewing accounts payable logs during that time period and reviewing purchasing card logs during that time period. We came up with the departments that we know are handling gift cards. Once we obtained the list of departments that are handling gift cards, we obtained information such as evidence of their tracking, evidence of their receipts. We interviewed process owners and walked through their processes. We did inventory counts of their safes or whatever cabinet that they might use to lock up their gift cards. And then on a sample basis, did detailed testing. We could not do detailed testing of 100% of the population because we're talking about $80,000 worth of gift cards. There's a lot of gift cards, so a lot of receipts. We had to sample test those receipts. So here we are with the results. Of all the departments that handle gift cards, only one department did not have any unaccounted for gift cards. So as you can see, we have a lot of improvement on gift card management processes. This table summarizes the departments, the gift cards that could not be accounted for. One department only had gift cards that lost value, which I'll speak to in a moment. And then in the final column, we have total unaccounted for and lost value gift cards, which is approximately $4,000. And then the total dollar handled during our review period was about $87,000 worth of gift card activity. We also wanted to mention that this is a very conservative estimate because there was very poor tracking of gift cards overall. We don't know what the beginning inventory balance was, so we assumed a beginning inventory balance of 0. We included all purchases and receipts of gift cards, what was distributed, what could not be located, and what was left over. So the amount of unaccounted for gift cards is probably higher than the amount that we were able to test during our review period. So quick mention of lost value gift cards. Retailers in the state of Minnesota cannot have gift cards that lose their value. However, some departments were not really aware of the rules on gift cards and how to handle gift cards and purchased Visa gift cards, which are not retailer gift cards. Visa gift cards do have other fees, administrative fees. They lose value over time. So by the time the department realized that they had gift cards that were Visa gift cards losing value, finance department quickly gathered the cards, helped them cash in and save the remaining balance of those gift cards. But in all, about $880 in lost value was recorded.
Director Bigby,
Yes.
Can you help us understand what the school-based clinic's $40,000 worth of gift cards purchased goes toward?
Chair Palmisano, Audit Committee members, the school-based clinic primarily gives gift cards to incentivize students to attend health events. There are approximately 8 schools. There are health events throughout the year, and those could include safe sex and other types of educational programs. In addition, to encourage students to come visit clinicians that are located in the schools, a clinician could give a student a gift card when they arrived at the school. they would obtain a receipt for that card. They're generally only $10 value cards. Occasionally, there might be a $25 value given. The large amount of gift cards coming over from Hennepin County are $10 cards used for that purpose. You're welcome. And for the school-based clinic, a large amount of those gift cards is from Hennepin County. And then the school-based clinics also use their own funds and grant funds to purchase gift cards. For this slide, are there any questions on this particular slide for the results? Okay. As a result of this audit, we have 2 audit issues. So we try to write the audit issues that would have the most value to the city, enable management to have better policies and procedures, and then to have oversight. It's fine to have a great policy, but if nobody is making sure that the policy is implemented, it might not add much value. So after working with the finance department, they're going to drive the management action plan for issue number 1. The city lacks centralized gift card management policies and procedures. The city finance department is going to outline a best practice gift card policy that all of the departments will be required to adopt, but then they may have to personalize it based on the particular activities in their department. So their procedures would be more specific to what they are actually doing. In addition, the finance internal controls team will periodically review that the policy is being implemented. So that would require a couple of times a year reviewing the reconciliations and the tracking of gift card activity to make sure that the perpetual inventory is accurate and that the gift cards are being properly reconciled and that receipts are on hand for those gift cards. Issue number 2, department level gift card activity is not adequately monitored or reconciled. So all of the departments did not have accurate current reconciliation of their gift card activity. Finance department, with the help of our audit report, we're proposing a tracking mechanism and a reconciliation that shows ending inventory, purchases, disbursements, and then the ending inventory of the next period. So starts with beginning inventory, purchases, disbursements, ending inventory. The tracking is a little bit more detail, who got what cards for what event, and how many cards, what dollar amount, what the date was, and then where are those receipts located. In addition, we found disparities in how gift cards were stored. So gift cards should be stored in a locked location, preferably a safe. We encourage staff to think of it as handling cash because it is a cash equivalent. In fact, the IRS considers gift cards a cash equivalent and should not be given to employees because they are taxable income. Are there any questions on the gift card audit report?
Mr. Fisher? Sorry, I'm not seeing any from my colleagues at this time.
Okay, I'll just check with Lori. Ms. Johnson? Okay, Lyle? Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson and Mr. Hodges, for being here as part of this audit. It's nice that we've started and we really cultivate a practice of having the auditees here present for that review. It seems like a lot of work has been done in looking at the issues and getting the responses and everything. So I'm pleased to see that this looks like a really complete audit. So thank you. So without any further questions from my colleagues, I'm going to move to receive and file the gift audit report that is a citywide audit. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That carries. I'm sorry, I also forgot there's one other component to that in audit committee where we direct staff to publish the report. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? That carries. Thank you. Next, we'll go into your regular auditor update.
Thank you, Chair Palmisano, audit committee members. Our audit work in progress. I would like to call up Auditor Kamlan Alade, who will tell you about our progress on our contract amendments audit.
Chair Palmisano, Audit Committee member, good morning. I would like to provide you a quick brief on updates on contract amendment audit. I would like to start off the objective of that audit. The objective of contract amendment audit is to ensure key control in city contract amendment processes are properly designed and operating effectively to mitigate operational compliance and risk fraud. We've started the field work the last week of August. We're still in progress with walkthrough and document review, and we are in discussion with management of the potential issue. So if you have any question about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Kamlan. Our next audit, I also wanted to mention for the contract amendments audit, that is being led by Derek from Baker Tilly, and it is being supported by our staff, Travis and Kamlan. The CPED grant management audit, phase 2, remembering that we did the citywide grant management audit recently. Within that audit, we selected 2 departments to review, a small department led in Healthy Homes, and then a large department, CPED. Due to timing and staff availability, the CPED grant management audit is now underway. Our audit manager, is leading this audit. Currently, they are in the process of walkthroughs with CPED. They've had several meetings and walkthroughs. They will finish the walkthroughs, then the scope will be finalized, and they will do their testing in fieldwork. The testing is expected to begin in November. Are there any questions on the CPED grant management audit?
I'm not seeing any.
The Park Board Enterprise Risk Assessment Consultation, I'm leading that consultation. We have had training sessions with the new Enterprise Risk Management team that the Park Board has appointed. We have conducted the first of 2 pilots, so we completed the pilot for the Forestry Department, and the Park Board Enterprise Risk Management team has been amazing. They have 8 people from different functions who understand risk management. The Forestry Department frontline management staff was very transparent. They came to the meeting with ideas, and they were able to speak about risks in a transparent manner. It was very productive. I'm very happy with how that has turned out. So the next pilot is going to be the aquatics and ice arena operations, athletic programs, aquatics, and ice arenas. And then we'll be available if help is needed, but Park Board will finish the remaining of their 16 departments and functions. So with each group, there might be some action plans that management can work on right away, but overall, the ERM team at the Park Board will look at all the risks, try to level set all of the risks, and decide how they might more efficiently allocate their resources. The annual enterprise risk assessment, I'm partnering with Baker Tilly this year. I would say we're about 60% done with our management interviews. We'll finish our interviews in November, and maybe a few will trickle into December. As a reminder, this annual enterprise risk assessment that internal audit leads is to help level set our audit plan. So we do have some audits queued up for at least a year, but being an agile audit team, we always want to spend our audit efforts on the areas that add the most value and where there's more risk. So as things bubble up or new risks emerge, we might recommend that some audits be added, some to be removed, and we try to do that periodically, not just one big hit each year. That being said, we are required to have an annual report of the results of this risk assessment. So that report we typically present in February. So that's when we think that we'll be presenting this one as well. In December, we will probably request a few changes to the audit plan, and then maybe a few more in February, and then just 1 or 2 each audit committee after that to try to keep up with emerging risks. Are there any questions on the enterprise risk assessment?
I'm not seeing any.
I would like to introduce Auditor Travis Combe to present prior audit issue follow-up. Travis?
Welcome, Mr. Khan.
Sean Palmisano, members of the committee. This is kind of a regular update on the prior audit issues I've been following up on. So we currently have 24 open issues. We do have 2 reopened ones that we kind of touched upon last time, and 2 overdue, and I kind of provide some explanation in some future slides what those are. 13 we're currently in the process of validating support, and we were able to close out 5 since the last audit committee, with about 9 more audit issues expected to be due by the end of the year in 2019. And then the open one includes the 4 new audit issues from the police off-duty audit, and then the 2 new issues from the gift card audit that were presented today. And then right now I'd like to invite up Sam Boderman to kind of provide an update on a non-public audit report that was closed out with the Public Works Water Treatment and Distribution IT audit.
Actually, first, Mr. Khan, when you say it includes 4 new issues from the police off-duty work audit, that means the 4 that were presented in September's audit committee meeting, right?
Yep, correct.
Okay,
Yep.
thanks.
Chair Palmisano, audit committee members, here to provide an update today on the IT audit of the Minneapolis water treatment and distribution audit that was dated August 27, 2018. The primary objective of this audit was to review operational and application controls within the department. There were 4 total audit issues noted as a result of this audit. 2 were closed in previous audit committee meetings, and then there were 2 remaining issues were closed in August and September that we're presenting here today. As a result, there are no open issues with this audit report at this time, and our primary contact that we worked with in Public Works was Steve Crumley. Thank you.
Are there any questions or comments from my colleagues? There aren't. Thank you.
Thank you. And then just kind of another update, kind of non-public audit issues that we still currently are tracking. There's currently 3 non-public audit reports after we close out the water distribution. So the PeopleSoft web portal, traffic signal IT audit, there's currently a number of issues that we're expected to be closed out this coming November for an update in December. And then the police information security IT audit. And these all relate to the system security issues as well.
Mr. Can you help us understand? I know that during the time that the water treatment audit came out, the media seemed a little bit disappointed as to how much information got redacted from that audit. Can you tell me, or maybe it's a better question for our city attorney, does that information now get redacted, or are there reasons why we continue to keep that information private?
Yeah, and for this, I'd like to turn over to Director Bigby.
Chair Palmisano, audit committee members, we can certainly revisit that once the audit issues are remediated with the management team and with the city clerk's office to determine if reports could be redacted. Some reports would never be redacted, but there may be some cases where these security issues, there would be no further risk if the full report was disclosed. We haven't had any yet to that point that would be revisited. The traffic issues they are working with Wildcard to remediate those, and they are expected to be on track. The police information security audit, IT audit, was the one that was partially redacted, and I think there were a lot of questions about why that report was redacted. So that might be a good one to revisit, especially with the city clerk, once those issues are closed.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then an update of the 2 open audit issues. So these are presented at the August committee as well. The MPD third-party audit, the issue return of duty determination. The new process has been implemented, and that expected due date is at the end of November. And then the police body-worn cameras, we're expecting that's been being tested as part of the ongoing body-worn camera audit. So there'll be an update on that in December as well once that audit is presented. And then we currently have 2 overdue audit issues. So the police, one carrying over from last time, the police information security IT audit, which is a non-public audit issue, but we're working with management to get that back on track. And then the AG contract management audit. So we're currently working with management to develop determine the action plan and kind of the efforts to get those remediated, or these audit issues remediated back on schedule as well. And that was due at the end of August. And then here's just kind of a summary slide of all the public ones. The open audit issue detail, ranging from a couple key audits yet with the new additions as well on the slide. And then here are just some updates on the state auditor findings that were presented today with summary detail that we're currently tracking as well. And with that, I'd like to turn it back over to Director Bigby for the administrative update.
Are there any questions from my colleagues? Nope, thank you.
Our administrative update, our internal audit peer review self-assessment was completed the last time reported to the audit committee. We are still in progress of updating policies and procedures. We believed that we were already implementing all of the professional standards. However, we're tweaking the language in policies and procedures so we can go ahead and schedule our peer review for next year. We're going to schedule that through ALGA, and they usually like a 6-month advance notice, so we'll probably schedule that around February, March of next year. And we need to have our updated policies and procedures in place for 1 year before the peer review by the professional standard setter. I presented to the Police Conduct Oversight Commission the police off-duty audit report. Occasionally, when there are police-related reports, they like us to come and present our reports after we have presented to audit committee. So we appreciate them inviting us to do that. Department 4 quarterly training is scheduled, and upcoming on our December 9th audit committee, we expect to present our contract amendments audit, our body-worn camera biennial compliance audit, and the automated license plate reader biennial compliance audit. The next audits we expect to start in November through December, early January: Park Board grant management audit, procurement ABC post-implementation user access management review, and affordable housing. And that, keeping that in mind with the enterprise risk assessment results, there may be some level setting that we ask the audit committee to consider as we prioritize our next few projects. Are there any other questions from Chair Palmisano, Audit Committee?
I'm not seeing any.
Thank you.
With that, I will move to receive and file the update report of our internal audit department's work in progress. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That carries. Are there any announcements from my colleagues? I will share that just yesterday afternoon, we were contacted by Commissioner Meyer, who says that he doesn't think he will be able to continue participating on our audit committee as the park commissioner, as that is part of this body. So I will be sending and working on notification back to the park board and getting another park commissioner assigned to audit committee for the remainder of this term. So also want to point out that at the end of this year, Mr. Scott Neal's position does open up and become an open seat. So we are actively looking and recruiting people, citizens, residents of Minneapolis that wish to serve as the civilian arm of our audit committee. So just wanted to point that out. Next, and for colleagues that are new to this, we're going to adjourn to room 315 for the purpose of discussing the performance evaluation of our internal auditor. This is a regular practice. We do an annual review of our director because she reports directly to this committee, and thus we're charged with her annual performance review. This hasn't happened yet because, as you might remember, Director Bigby began with us in July of last year, so it didn't seem appropriate to have one, for just a few months of time, but we definitely want to get this done. Then after we do that performance evaluation, we will bring a summary letter of that for publication and for open review, and we will pass that at our December meeting. So that's the process from here. I will move to adjourn to room 315. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That carries. Thank you. I'll see you in just 1 minute over in 315.